Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Richard, and welcome back to the Stock Market Outlook video sponsored by MarketSmith. I hope you guys are having a great long weekend, and in this video, we'll go through the market indexes, leading stocks, my watch list, and how it performed this past week. Then we'll move on to sentiment from a few different sources, the IBD Big Picture article, and finally the GMI Signal. And if you do enjoy my analysis, please go ahead and take the time down below and leave a like. It really helps me out and my channel. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one every single week. Right now, let's take a look at the Nasdaq Composite. Nice trend above a rising 21 and 50 SMA. Nice move off the 50 SMA from a few weeks ago. And we are a little bit short-term extended. It feels above the 21 EMA, so I wouldn't mind some consolidation bars, letting this moving average pull back or actually catch up to this price. And we are about 4% above the 50 SMA here. So this may appear extended, but you always have to listen to the leading stocks as well. And last week we saw a lot of participation, not from just the large caps, but also the small caps. The IWO rallied strongly through the key moving averages as well as the 305.72 pivot. So even though big caps might be a little bit extended, now that the rally is kind of spreading out, that is a good thing for growth stock investors. So taking a look at the S&P 500 as well. This looks very similar to the NASDAQ. Very strong trend above a rising 21 and 50 SMA, touching it a few times here, and nice upside reversal to end out the week on Friday above the 4,500 mark. So we'll see what happens here. Another promising sign for growth stock investors is that the FFTY is finally trying to break out of this longer term base. And once again, a very strong move through these prior pivots, and also some good volume as well. So the IBD type stocks are acting really, really well. Looking at the IWM, the Russell 2000, the smaller cap names in general, not just growth. This is also participating, breaking above the 225.21 pivot, and also taking a look at the Dow Jones. Why not? We can take a look at this, and you can see it's still consolidating, but really I don't care too much about this index. So overall, things are acting well. Especially promising is the small cap move, and I would like to see us push up and challenge the 315.48 pivots, but maybe we get some consolidation days, maybe an upside reversal after a gap down the overall market and a rally back through this range. This would be very, very promising. Taking a look at some action of leading stocks, let's take a look at DLO, a recent earnings gap up, a nice push off this inside day right here, and I wouldn't mind some consolidation, letting this 21 EMA catch up to price. But overall, we'll see how it acts against the 70 mark. Also taking a look at Snap. This has been frustrating a lot of people, but it's back at the pivot. Nice push, upside reversal off the 21 EMA on this Friday. And you've got some pivots setting up right here as well as right here. So I'll be watching this one carefully next week to see if we get some fall through off the move on Friday. And lastly, DOCS also had a strong push off some upside reversal bars here near the 21 EMA. And if you do draw an anchored VWAP from this day right here, it held this quite nicely and then had a strong push up on this day and a nice consolidation day and then fall through. But so far it is having trouble at 100 and it's very extended at this point. And I also want to highlight a few other DOC names. So DOCN has been acting extremely well. Nice strong move on this Friday. And this is on my watch list back here near the 50 SMA, a strong push on volume with a great closing range on Friday. So very extended at this point, but acting very well. And we finally had a nice move on DOCU after earnings here, breaking out on very large volume. So ideally we get some fall through, breaking out towards all-time highs above this pivot here. And finally the start of a trend after basically 11-month, 12-month base here since its prior move in early 2020. So with those stocks highlighted, let's move on over to TC2000 and sort by that weekly change on my leaders list. And if you have any stocks that you'd like me to put on this list, let me know down below in the comment section. So going back to a daily chart here is the anchor VWAP I was talking about. You can see these two upside reversal days held it nicely. Then a really nice push here back through the 10-day simple. And this started a nice trend into the end of the week. A nice quick 18% move. ASAN also had nice earnings, I believe. Failed initially, but pulled back right into this level around 79 and then pushed back strongly and nice fall through on Friday. Moderna, nice push off the low of this potential high type flag base here. It's about 30% deep, and we'll see how it acts if it's able to fall through from the strong move on Friday. Not too much volume coming in, but it is higher than the previous consolidation here against the key moving averages. FIGs also a really nice push here, continuation off the undercut and rally setup here. It does look like it's ready to consolidate here because it wasn't able to push up here towards the highs. But if it does form some tightness, this could be one to watch as it tries to move up the right-hand side of the space. UPSD continues to be very strong, holding the 10-day. Looks very good, but once again, this is a volatile name. GLBE, also a nice push up here. It did pull back, but ended off the week with a nice inside day on decreasing volume. And we'll see if this falls through to the upside or to the downside and maybe retest these key moving averages. SE continues to be very strong as well, just riding that 10-day higher. Really nice close to the week as well, and really nice volume coming in on this day right here. U, nice push out of these double inside weeks, and looks pretty strong, pretty good closing range to end out the week. And we'll see if this manages to move back towards these all-time highs. LC, also really nice push on this Tuesday on increasing volume and then pretty much going sideways with really tight closes right here. That stands out to me, a nice upside reversal on this Friday. Team just trending above that 10-day looks great after the strong earnings gap up on volume. Net also a really nice oops reversal, 3-bar break, bullish outside day. It basically had all the setups I look for on this day right here, and then nice fall through on Thursday and Friday. S has been extremely strong and just continues to trend above the 10-day here. I would expect some type of consolidation, and it definitely is extended at this point. And in general, if you look at the 10-4 stochastic here, many of these are extended, meaning above 80, 75 or so. So looking back at this sort, so let's go to app here. A nice push here, oops reversal and bullish outside day, and then fall through on Thursday, and then a nice consolidation day on this Friday. So we'll see if this continues to push up towards these all-time highs. Next up, we've got DLO, and you can see it had a nice inside day and up, then 2 consolidation days, riding that 10-day higher. And I wouldn't mind some consolidation days, letting that 21 EMA catch up to price. ZS continues to be very strong along with S and CrowdStrike. Dexcom trending above the key moving averages looks pretty good after a strong move on volume after earnings. PLTR looks like it's setting up under this pivot. I wouldn't mind some type of handle consolidation pullback to 21 EMA, but so far looks decent. I would like to see some tightness and then a push up on volume. SBT looks like a leader. Look how it kind of holds that 21 EMA here. Looks absolutely great. Nice tightness and then a breakout on this Friday. Fiverr back above the high volume close here and trying to establish itself above the 21 EMA, forming a little bit of a range here below 185. And we'll see if it's able to push up here and fill this gap, but still needs a lot of time. And it's not really on my focus list at this point. Dash also setting up potentially for next week. Let me go ahead and hide all those bars here, those horizontal lines. Looks like it's setting up a pivot around 195. You've got this high at 196.50 as well. And we'll see how it looks. Let's go to a weekly chart quickly. Nice consolidation right near these levels. Moving on, we've got Tesla, nice upside reversal on this Friday. We'll watch this for fall through next week and taking out these pivots potentially and moving up the right side of the space. Bill, nice continuation, U-turn after a really strong earnings report. Here is the pivot here, as well as this high potentially. And we'll see if this starts to trend above the 10-day simple. Snap also consolidating after earnings, as I mentioned, right back at that pivot, but nice upside reversal action on this Friday. DocuSign, nice push on volume, as I mentioned. DDOG riding that 10-day to higher prices. We'll see if this kind of pulls back and then explodes upwards on volume. Generac continues to trend nicely right near the top of the space, maybe forming a handle here, and we'll see if this has a breakout as well. Shopify still above the key moving averages and forming a little bit of a range here. Try to move up here, and I don't like this close, but is holding an inside day to end out the week. Twilio, really nice push here, maybe the start of something here, and we'll watch to see if this can retake the 50-day simple. NVIDIA, really nice action, tight days on declining volume, push up on higher volume, pretty much textbook since this cup and handle breakout, and I'll be watching this to see if it falls through off the 10-day simple. CMG also acting well, bullish outside day on Friday. We'll watch this for continuation and to see if it can break out above all-time highs. SQ just holding that 21 EMA looks pretty good for next week. EMPH also near those key moving averages, but just below it. And I would like to see some more tightness before watching for breakouts. Roblox also pretty wide and loose here below the key moving averages. And you can see it tried to start something here, move up the right-hand side with a bullish outside day, but not a great close, rejected at the 10-day here and finished below the key moving averages on Friday. CrowdStrike, nice push up before earnings, then not a great reaction, but it's holding that 10-day simple. And this could be one that's actionable starting next week. And you see it pull back right to the top of the prior consolidation. AMD also potentially setting up here. It did break a short-term DTL on Friday, but not a great close. But we'll see if it holds a 21 EMA and starts to move back up towards 120 all-time highs. Roku rejected here pretty badly, negative expectation breaker. This was a lower probability play because it is showing signs of distribution, but you have a decent reaction to the gap down here, but we'll have to see where this goes from here. Crocs, upside reversal on Friday, but below the 21 EMA. BNTX, not quite as strong as Moderna, but we'll see if this can push up the bottom of this base right here around 320 or so. Domo, also below the key moving averages. I'll probably take this off the list here. I don't like this gap down on low volume, and there's not quite a shape here, although it is pulling back towards the top of this prior base. Olo also failing pretty badly. It had a strong push up off a nice breakout from tightness here, but then pretty bad days in a row on high volume. So that's a run through of these market leaders. A lot of them are acting really well. Docs, ASAN, Moderna, Figs, and we'll have to see how they act next week. And as always, let me know if I should add anything to this list. Just let me know down below in the comment section. And moving over to my focus list and sorting by that weekly change, let's go through these charts here. Caribou had a nice push off the 21 EMA area after not a great Monday, but a nice recovery. And we'll have to see how this acts. You can see it hit price and RS new highs on this Friday. KMBE also acting well, upside reversal here and fall through to the upside, 2-2 reversal on Thursday, and a really nice continuation back through the 50-day SMA. Coin also a nice push off the 21 EMA area and breaking above this pivot as well. Let me go ahead and show drawings here. And you can see it's right at the anchored VWAP from the IPO day. So this is a pretty significant level. We'll have to see if it is rejected like it was back here, or if it kind of tightens up here and breaks out through that level. U, we mentioned already, nice action as well. LC, we talked about. DLO, we talked about. Tesla, Snap, we talked about. ZI managed to find its footing above the 63 level and the prior green line, which is the high from its IPO. Short-term run up here, and we'll have to see if it tightens up here and allows us to enter right here. It didn't have too many great entries. You can see a 2-2 reversal kind of failed here, failed breakout, but decent action on this Friday. DOCU, we talked about. Shop as well, Roblox, BNTX. Last week we've got Donut, which kind of broke down from this tightness and looks like a failed setup at this point. So overall, pretty good performance from my watch list, especially Caribou and KNBE. And we had a bunch of solid performances as well. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow on Monday when I'll be posting my next list of ideas. So moving on to sentiment, let's start with my surveys on Twitter. We had a drop from 59.8% bullish to only 44.7% bullish, which is a good thing, especially considering the market is right at all-time highs. That's a good sign. But the name exposure index continues to be pretty darn high at 93.95, which is a caution sign. Looking at the put call ratio, you can see it's just oscillating back and forth. And we have yet to see a big kind of stress test and maybe see it pop in the put call ratio. Looking at the Bollinger Bears poll, this is still quite low relative to the previous run in 2020 and early 2021, but it is starting to inch up here on the last reading. So overall, in terms of sentiment, the only standout here is that the put call ratio, not the put call ratio, the name exposure index is pretty high. So moving on to the IBD Big Picture article, the headline is Growth Stocks Large Caps Hold Up Well Amid Flaccid Jobs Report. They talk about the response to the surprisingly weak U.S. jobs report, the action from the indexes here, and volume as well. They talk about, is it still TINA? And TINA, if you don't know, is there is no alternative. And here they talk about how the S&P 500 annualized dividend yield is as low as 1.35%, which is identical to the current bond yield and you can read this through if you would like the details. So overall, their current outlook is a confirmed uptrend with 3 distribution days on the S&P 500 and 3 on the NASDAQ. Lastly, we've got the GMI Signal, which is still green since May 26th. And on Thursday, the GMI score was as strong as 6 out of 6. So overall, taking everything into account, my current view is a confirmed uptrend. I'm really encouraged by the action of small caps and how the FFTY is following through and the IWO is moving up the right-hand side of its base. And I definitely want to see that continue and really see those small caps start to lead and trend once again. So overall, my current view, like IBD, is a confirmed uptrend. And I'll be looking to kind of take on more exposure as setups emerge, but I'm always ready to manage risk along the way because I am ready for some type of stress test in the general market, given that the QQQ is a little bit short-term extended. So always be ready for whatever can happen. And that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you guys in future videos. Thanks.